have to hear the president of One Fair Wage explain how tipped minimum wage is a form of legacy slavery.
The National Restaurant Association, which we call the other NRA, was formed in 1919 in response to another industry, the Pullman car industry. Some of you may know there was a company called Pullman. It was luxury trains going from East Coast to West Coast and back. Right after emancipation, the Pullman Train Company hired black people to work as porters, black men to work as porters on the trains. In the early 1900s, those black men, under the leadership of a man named A. Philip Randolph, started organizing for an actual wage rather than living on tips. Tipping had not been prevalent in the United States pre-emancipation. At emancipation, two industries sought to hire newly freed black people, not pay them anything, and let them live on this new thing that had just come from Europe called tips. So Pullman car porters started organizing, said, no, we want a wage rather than tips. And got it. And in response, in 1919 in Chicago, the National Restaurant Association, other NRA, was formed to ensure that their staff were mostly black women that they had hired post-emancipation, didn't organize and didn't get what the Pullman car porters get, and ensure that forever, to this day, these workers would rely pretty exclusively on tips. So we went from a $0 wage at emancipation to $2.13 an hour, the current federal minimum wage for tipped workers in the United States, and 43 states with a sub-minimum wage for a population that's still overwhelmingly women, disproportionately women of color, mostly single moms struggling to make ends meet on tips. Now, here's the thing I just have to say. We're in a very historic moment right now where for the first time since emancipation, millions of workers are rejecting that idea of living exclusively on tips. Coming out of the pandemic, the industry is facing the worst staffing crisis in its history. And thousands of restaurants are having to raise wages, but they are actually, many of them saying, especially small businesses, we can't do it alone. We need a level playing field. We need policy that's going to bring these workers back because a lot of the workers have left.